Hey friends, it is Chrissy, and welcome back to another episode of the Old School Food Freedom Podcast, where we're going to kick it as old school as it gets with how God created us to live, which is free from dieting, free from food rules, and free from body shame. So before we get into this episode, I am excited to give a listener shout out. I just want to give a big shout out to some of the amazing cities that are tuning in to Old School Food Freedom Podcast. We currently serve 49 countries, and over 90% of you are right here in the United States. And I'm so grateful for each one of you. So I want to say thank you to our listeners in Kansas City, Missouri, which is my hometown, Columbus, Ohio, Latrobe, Pennsylvania, Tucson, Arizona, and Chicago, Illinois. We are also super grateful for our community in Fort Worth, Texas, and Dallas, Franklin, Tennessee, which is where Finding Balance is headquartered, and Phoenix, Arizona, Brooklyn, New York. I'm about to break out into song. I went from Phoenix, Arizona, all the way to Tacoma. And a special thanks as well to our listeners in Detroit, Michigan, Denver, Colorado, San Diego, California, and Franklin, Louisiana, repping the Deep South. So wherever you're listening from, we are so thankful for you. Your presence here reminds us that freedom in Christ is reaching hearts not only across the nation, but around the world. So I'm so glad you're here. Thanks for being here. And Susan Stewart, welcome to the show. Thank you for being here today.
Thanks for having me, Chrissy.
Yeah, friends, let me tell you about Susan. Susan Stewart is the founder of Perfectly Placed and one of St. Louis's most experienced professional organizers. She specializes in creating beautiful, functional, and sustainable systems that help busy families simplify their lives. Susan is passionate about teaching clients how to maintain organized spaces. Residing in St. Louis, Missouri with her husband, Travis Stewart, who you all know and love, a regular contributor to Finding Balance. And Susan, little side note, also appears in Lesson 3 of our Lasting Freedom course in the holiday module. So this is a good time to look into our Lasting Freedom holiday module just ahead of those holidays, because we know it feels like when Halloween comes, kind of food noise really starts getting loud because you've got Halloween with candy, and then the next thing is Thanksgiving, and then you've got Christmas, and then it's New Year's, and we see this year after year. It doesn't have to be that way. So check out our holiday module in our Lasting Freedom course. You can find links in the show notes. But back to Susan. She is a mom to 2 grown children, a son-in-law, and a delightful, sweet grandson, and her spoiled dog, Sadie. That is Susan Stewart. Hey, Susan.
That's fun. And another grandbaby on the way. We just found out recently. So,
Wait,
yeah.
what? Oh, congratulations. That's so
Thanks.
cool. Aw. Wait, we heard about Travis's name is Poppy, not Poppy. Wait, I already forgot it.
Oh, Granddad.
Granddad. Okay. Do you have a fun name?
Yeah, I'm Mimi.
Mimi. Granddad Mimi. That's super cute. Love it.
Thanks.
Okay. Hey, we always start our show with a kickoff question of what old school item or experience do you miss from back in the day?
I miss playing outside and seeing kids play outside.
Yeah. Ooh.
Climbing trees, kick the can for anyone that's of the older generation like I am. Grew up in the 70s and 80s, and we used to have, kick the can and neighbor games and things like that. So I just miss those.
It was such a simple time, a simple, pure, sweet, fun time. And why did it seem that mosquito bites and sugar bites just really didn't affect me as much as they do now? I didn't care. I was laying in grass.
Yeah, we didn't notice it.
Yeah. Climbing trees, but not trees near overhead lines. Do you remember that?
Right,
There was this whole commercial. I've been climbing trees my whole life, but not trees near overhead lines. And this, it would scared us to death. Never climb trees. Do you remember that? Maybe it was a Missouri thing. I don't know.
That's funny.
Low key, I have the whole thing memorized. We'll do that in the outtakes at some point.
Oh, that's great.
That was fun. That is a really nostalgic, sweet thing that I wish we could go back to even for a day. And I mean, I guess we kind of could, but it's still different.
Yeah.
Because it's 2025.
It is.
Which seems space age as well. Well, today we are going to talk about a pretty heavy topic. This topic for me, I'll say it's really heavy for me. This is something I have struggled with as an adult. I'm going to say at least for the last 15 years. It really kind of started when I got married 15 years ago. And I know that there are some roots behind that, but this topic is when clutter triggers shame and how Jesus can heal the heart behind the mess. Oh, it's so, like I already feel like tears are trying to come up my tear duct pipes or whatever. Like, oh, it's a lot. So like clutter is more than just stuff, right? There's this deeper root. It just goes deeper than just, oh, it's just stuff piled up. You need to get it together. You need to get it
Yeah.
organized. So, Susan, where would you, hearing that I'm coming in with that and I feel tension in me to not even want to talk to you about it, but knowing I need to, where would you go?
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of it is about the messages that we tell ourselves, like we should be able to keep up with it. We should be able to be organized. We should. And, and especially as women, depend on the generation, because I do think things are shifting. I'm in my 50s, and I think in my generation, we were told a good wife, a good mom, a good woman, it maintains her home well. And so if
That's true. Now, we were growing up on reruns of, Leave It to Beaver, which
right.
so many listeners may not even know what that is, but where there's a housewife and she's wearing this dress with an apron and everything is, oh, Ward, I'm
Yeah.
here for you. And let me put this 4-course meal on the table and iron all your slacks. Like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
we don't maintain that now.
And what's true is that being organized is not tied to gender roles. And it's also not different than any other skill. Nobody has every skill. No one's good at everything. I'm not great at technology. And, it just doesn't come naturally to me. And thank God I married someone who is good at it. So that helps me out. But if you're experiencing shame about that, I think it's just important to realize that anyone can learn it, but there are just some things that you're going to need more help with. And it's not any different than struggling with math or technology or directions or anything else.
You said math, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh no, did Travis tell you something? Like, he always seems to say things that call me out, and so maybe you've been spending a lot of time with him. And just kidding.
No, I'm not good at math, and it always
Okay.
cracks me up because I have a lot of doctor clients, and they'll be like, "You are so good at this. How do you do this?" And I'm thinking to myself, "Are you serious? Like, you're not expecting me to know how to do your job. I'm just,
Right.
I'm just organizing. You're doing surgery. I mean,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
just a different skill set. That's all."
That already kind of chips away at a little bit of the shame that I feel. I also think I have a background in interior design, and that's where I thought I was headed. So then I feel a lot of shame because my current house, like my office would reflect it, and another room in our house would reflect that I might be good at that type of situation, but the rest of the house, no. And it's also moving in with my husband who lived in this home in his previous marriage. That's kind of also a different, like, we all get along. I get along with his former wife, our son's mom, so well. Like, we are very good friends.
That's great.
She has supported finding balance. Like, it's fantastic. Like, God really healed that when it could have been super scary and ugly and messy. And it didn't have to be that way. So we all get along great. And there has just been this, I don't know, something inside of me where I want to respect that. I don't want to come in and just change everything. Like, I own the place.
Mhm.
We're working through that now, and we've finally come to a place where we can like do some home remodeling. Like, financially, it's finally an option for us. And so,
Right.
but I feel like I would be so embarrassed for anyone to come over because, and now that I'm saying it, I can reflect back that it seems like it's a really selfish motive. I'm keeping people out because I care what they think. And how does it reflect on me? Ugh, I don't even like acknowledging this. This is real talk. How does it reflect on me if my house is cluttered and my
Mm.
house is dusty and we have 2 black dogs and a black cat and beigey carpet? Like, that is hard to keep up with. And
Uh-huh.
one sheds like crazy and it's not it's not a cat. So like, what will they think of me? Will they say
Yeah.
things? Like, oh, it's such a people-pleasing thing. I'm talking it out and I feel it. Ah,
Can I normalize this for you a little bit?
yes, please.
So, one question I ask in every consultation, and I would say 95 out of 100 people will answer the same way. I will say, what would you be able to do that you're not able to do now if your house was organized? And 95 out of 100 people are going to say, have people over.
Count me in. 96 people say that now.
96.
Yeah.
Yep. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense. Like, we're embarrassed, we're struggling. It's hard to be real. It's hard to show our side that doesn't look great. I mean, there's some practical things to that too. So it is kind of a beautiful thing to be able to enable someone to feel comfortable having people over again,
Yeah.
by helping them clear the clutter. And that is a great role that I get to play. But it's also really common.
Thank you for normalizing that. And what else I heard as you were just kind of normalizing that for me, I also heard, ooh, there are some serious similarities when it comes to body image and the future. Like, I want to say I have wasted so much of my life looking ahead. Now, this was super disordered eating and eating disorder history, like historical. Like, I don't do this, I'm going to say, as much as I used to. But in the past, I would just always think about how life is going to be when I lose X number of pounds or get to this dress size, or my face looks thinner, or my stomach isn't as big, and fill in the blank of all of these magical things that are going to happen once those issues, quote unquote, are resolved.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a waste. Okay, let me just process through this. So I'm thinking the transformation into being okay in my body, even if I don't love and adore everything about my body right now, I can at least respect and honor the body God has designed and given me, the body that enables me to do this work at Finding Balance, the body
Right.
that enables me to love my husband and go on dates with him, and the body that enables me to dust my house and vacuum and do these things and take care of it. That body is a good body and it's honorable and worthy of respect. So is my home. Even if it's
Yeah.
not where I want it to be, even if it,
Right.
as is it a home that, houses us, that keeps us safe, that's safe and shelter and warm in the winter and cool? And like, we have nothing to complain about, right?
Yeah.
And we are human and complain. So I think I'm just trying to like connect those pieces and think I would love to just have people over in our home as it is, just like I want to show up in the body that I have as it
Yeah.
is, and be confident and just let the Lord use me as his vessel.
Right. And just like anything, like it's okay to ask for help,
Yeah.
or okay to be less than perfect because we're human.
Yeah. And on the flip side, I can feel that way and want to be secure where I am and know that there may be things I'm struggling with that I need professional help. Like, I've gone to counselors. I'm still going to a dietitian who specializes in diabetes. Like, I'm learning things that are going to help me have a better life, that enables me to do more things and is better for my body and my mind and all of those things. But also, when we have clutter in our homes, when things are kind of chaotic in spaces that we live in, do you see that impacts someone spiritually, emotionally, I don't know, physically?
Absolutely. I mean, it can go both ways. Cluttered environment can be our response to our cluttered brain,
Mm,
but also our cluttered brain can also be a response to our cluttered environment. So,
yeah.
but they do affect one another. And I'm neurodivergent, so I have a lot of noise going on in my head, lots and lots of thoughts. And one of the ways that I calm all the noise is to have a calm space.
Yeah.
And that really helps cut down on the mental noise for me. So that's just one thing that can help. we can also just be so distracted. I think as women, there's a saying like that it's hard to have a workspace, for example, in your bedroom because that can affect your love life. And the same, with clutter. When I think of the primary bedroom, that's probably like the last space that gets cleaned up because it's the least likely to be seen by company.
Yes,
So
definitely.
that's where we all hide like everything we don't want anyone to see, but it will impact our relationship with our significant other in the sense of it's just like, well, you're seeing the unfolded laundry or or whatever, the piles of stuff. And it's hard to be present. And I think it's hard to be present when you see a lot of stuff that needs to be done anyway, in any situation or in any room.
Ooh, like unresolved things, like piles of
Yeah.
bills or piles and stacks of things. Like it might look like an organized stack, but it still feels unresolved. Like something needs to happen to where it's like, I can check that off my list.
Yeah. And I'm sure the messages are different for different people.
Mm-hmm.
Like it could be thinking, these are all the things I should be doing, which, we talk about sometimes that silent weight that we carry as women, of all the
Yeah.
things I should be doing. To someone else, it may mean something completely different. Maybe it's the guilt about I didn't get enough time with my mom or something. And these are things that came from her house or something like that. I mean, everybody's holding their own stories in their head about the stuff that they don't know what to do with. And a lot of clutter really is unresolved decisions.
Ooh, wait, pause. Unresolved decisions. Okay, keep going. That felt like a
Yeah.
light bulb moment to me.
Mm.
I just got flashes of 15 unresolved decisions in my home. Okay, keep going because that's so good.
Yeah. No, that's okay. When I think about the things, let's say patterns, for example, that I see, one of them is I can't make a decision on this right now, so I will just put it in the basement for now, or I will just put it in this corner for now. Well, then that just builds up, right? And it kind of comes down to that decision fatigue of, I really don't know what to do with this. Or, I mean, sometimes it's, I don't know what to do with it in the sense of I haven't created homes for certain things. And so I don't know. I don't even know what room it belongs in. But other times it's, I can't make a decision about
Mm-hmm.
if I should or shouldn't keep it. And so I won't make a decision. I'll just put it here. But then that just builds. And then the decision gets harder.
So the whole to not decide is to decide. Like if you're not deciding, it's to decide
Yes.
to not do anything with it right now. Oh my gosh. So let's talk about clothes because this ties right into one of the things that we talked about in our pre-production meeting was clothing. So when you
Yeah.
talked about the primary bedroom, like I just want to hide. Oh my gosh. So I have, okay, friends, I love you and I'm being real. This is so, so hard for me to even say. Tears are coming out because this is embarrassing. But I want you to know that this is real. This is a real struggle. I have a whole laundry basket full of clean clothes filled to the top where I can't find a place for them to go because I can't seem to let go of other clothes that I can't even wear.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why am I holding on? I keep looking at them. I'm like, why am I holding on to this? I can't get into it. When I look at it, it makes me feel terrible because I want to wear this shirt and I can't. And so I bought a second laundry basket for dirty clothes. And when those dirty clothes get clean, I have no place to put those. So now I have 2 laundry baskets full of clean, folded clothes that I can't even get to. And then let's go to my closet. That's a different story. And shoes. It's like, okay, so for those of you who can't see, if you're just listening, the wall behind Susan is this beautiful, it's like a couple shelves with books that are color coordinated. And that's so pleasing to me. I love to have things in order of color, like the color coordination of sort of the transition of colors. In my closet, that's how I like my clothes to look. When I go in, it pleases me to see the colors in order. but to what extent? Because so many of those clothes only continue hanging there after 5 years of not being able to wear them because I want the color. And if I let go of that, then the color's off. Like, I don't know. I don't know what that is. And since we talked, it was a couple months ago when we talked, I got rid of 5 big bags of clothes and gave them to someone who had a similar body style. And I was like, if you want them, great. If you don't like any of them, Goodwill or wherever. And I felt really good about it. But then I walk into my closet and I'm still feeling overwhelmed because there's still so many clothes. And I can, quote, wear some of them, but I haven't worn some of them. And like, why am I hanging on to them? And so I can already feel just the shame coming up. Shame off me. I'm trying to say shame off me. But this is an ongoing issue. And so like, just knowing that our bedroom is supposed to be, this is so raw. Our bedroom's supposed to be just this beautiful place for the two of us. And there's just mounds of clean clothes and unresolved decisions, unmade decisions. So let you talk. I'm going to take a drink and get it together.
Okay. Well, I have some thoughts, and this may or may not relate to you, but having a difficulty letting go of the old clothes is not uncommon. And just exactly what you're describing is not uncommon. That the clothes that you're actually wearing are living in a basket because the closet, the drawers, whatever, are filled with the old stuff. And sometimes it can be a matter of, it feels like if I have the old clothes that I used to be able to fit into, that's going to motivate me to get small again sometimes.
Been there. I used to be there a lot.
And the reality, and I always will say this to a client, is that really going to make you go, oh, I should go get on the treadmill? Or does it have the reverse effect, actually?
Yeah.
Because now you feel even worse about yourself, and that it's just a spiral.
Yeah.
And so I tend to think it's almost like this psychological punishment of, I feel like I need to punish myself for having gained weight. And the reality is like our bodies, they change as we get older. Our hormones change. We have children. Our lifestyle changes. Then we go through menopause. It's just change after change after change.
Yeah.
And there's just not a need to punish ourselves.
Yeah.
And I have found that I will ask a client, imagine if these clothes weren't here and you were able to walk into your closet and everything you saw fit you.
Was an option and it felt good.
That be like? And I think when you can start to view it in that way, you can go, oh, yeah. So if you aren't at the place where you could completely let them go, another option would be to put them in a bin or a box and date them. And I hate to say this, put them in the basement or the garage or the attic.
Well, we just talked about that, right? But it is better. Maybe that is a good next step for someone. And then months later, years later, when they were like, oh, yeah, I put this box down here. Like sometimes it is good. And that's probably especially good when it comes to things that seemed important, with someone who's passed or someone who's not here anymore.
Yeah. You're bringing up a very good point, too, with like heirlooms or kids' clothes. I see this a lot, too. Like, oh, this was my favorite dress of my daughter, and I want to save it for my grandkids, et cetera, et cetera. But what is true is that clothing breaks down, elastic gets brittle, and often I am in a situation where we're going through this nostalgic clothing that has been in a closet for 20 plus years. And when we open, it's just brittle, it's breaking apart, those kind of things. And so I try to just help people remember that the memory won't go away if you let the clothing item go away. Nothing can make you lose that memory. And pictures are probably a better way of remembering it. And that doesn't mean that it's never okay to save any clothing. I think that's people's discretion based on the amount of space you have available. But it is helpful to remember that things do break down. They yellow, they harden.
Yeah, which could also then years later, when you open it up and you're excited about it, could also make you sad again if you see,
Yeah.
oh, you held on to it. I mean, yeah, it's kind of a catch-22. At Finding Balance, we believe freedom is not found in diets or body image. It is found only in Jesus. That's why we've created tools like our daily vitamin devotionals, prayer groups, and community, and the Lasting Freedom course to encourage you on your journey. So check them out at findingbalance.com and take your next step toward freedom in Him.
And then, I mean, of course, there's always the thing, too. It's like, while you might be excited about the idea of your grandchild maybe wearing something that you've held on to for 30 years,
Right.
your daughter-in-law might not be super excited about you giving her, whatever. Because, things change.
So one thing that we've done recently this year is a social media reset and kind of just trying to heal our relationship with social media. So many of us have been addicted and just, this trap of comparison and obsession and I'm not good enough and look what all these people have and comparing it with what I have or don't have, and
Sure.
And I think that also really feeds into they're highlighting the curated feed versus what is real. What does it really look like behind the scenes when things aren't all put together? But here we are in our own homes knowing, the clutter and chaos that may be happening. And so I think a lot of women start to get fooled and almost it's like a gaslighting of you're the only one struggling. Everyone else's home is so updated. Yours is so stuck in the 90s. Talk about old school. That's how I feel about my kitchen. It's early 2000s are calling and they would like their red walls back ASAP.
Right.
I am over it, right?
If we wait long enough, it'll just circle back again,
I had that thought one day. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to leave it here because eventually it'll be back. I just was so overwhelmed. So, I mean, Susan said it and so perfectly placed.
I'm old enough to see the cycles repeating
The
each other. And
trends,
I'm like, no.
No more honey gold cabinets, please.
Right?
Well, I found out if you pair them with the right color, it really tones them down. It's okay, I can live with that, but red is not the right match for me. So what do you say to the woman who feels alone in the mess that she feels like she's seeing her house or her drawers or her closet or whatever, when it just doesn't look like what she sees on Instagram? What do you say to her?
Well, I will often tell a client, if you were the only one, I wouldn't have a thriving business for the last 20 years.
Hey. Yeah, the truth is you are not the only one.
Yeah, you're not alone. And, and everybody thinks, oh, I'm the only one, or I must be the worst case, or, that kind of thing. And it's just not true. Occasionally you see some really funny reels on Instagram, but outside of those really funny ones, people generally aren't going around, showing their pile of laundry on the floor or what their pantry really looked like after the kids came home from school and threw everything or whatever.
Right.
And even for people that are really, really on top of things, the reality of the amount of time and energy that it takes to maintain certain things. So this kind of reminded me of something. Okay. So sometimes someone will say to me at a consult, well, I've watched the home edit and I want my pantry to look like the home edit. And I want to have all of the snacks in the clear containers and da 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 da. And sometimes I have to have a conversation with them. What you've seen is like Kim Kardashian, who has an entire staff at her disposal to be filling and refilling those things. And while there's nothing wrong with having things in containers and all of that, you've got to consider if the discretionary time you have available is going to match that type of system. And if I'm here, most likely it's not going to. And so I will recommend I can still make the pantry look really beautiful and still be super functional for your lifestyle with 4 kids and a job.
Yeah.
So that's just something to keep in mind, that there's only so much time.
Yeah.
And really, I do like things to be beautiful, right? I mean,
Oh, yeah.
aesthetics are important to me, but function is first. And you have to also consider the stage of life you're in, and when you've got littles at home and you're juggling all the balls that you often are, there's only so much time to keep everything maintained.
Absolutely. And I was thinking when you were talking about kind of like you see some of those videos showing, a little behind the scenes, I noticed that lots of them are the transformation. We really like the transformation of like, oh, look how bad it was before, but now it's perfect after. And this is what you want to achieve. But really, that's not always helpful either. It's just like body transformations when we see those before and after. How about my body styles, shape, whatever right now is what someone else would be considering their before. And I'm not a before and after. Like, this is me now. And my body being the way it is not shameful because someone else has a similar body in their before pictures, but after, when they're thinner, it doesn't mean they're superior. That's a lie from the enemy. And same thing with your house. Like, I could post a video of the amount of additional pets I could have with the dog and cat hair that gets shed in the little,
Right.
corners of the carpet in the wall, like just scraping them off. And now we have this little squeegee kind of thing that pulls the hair, and it's kind of satisfying. My husband's like, I
Right.
actually like doing this. This is kind of fun. I'm like, we have like 3 bunny rabbits now of like dog hair. Like, it's just terrible. But anyway, it's kind of a joke. So I could just share that and just leave it there. Like, hey, you're not alone if you have pets. Like, this is a pet house.
Right.
And we narrate for our
Yes.
pets, and we love our pets, and they drive us crazy sometimes. And that's what you get. Like, it's okay. Just normalize it. I really want to normalize
Yeah.
these things.
Well, I'll often tell people too that organization it's a process. It's not a destination.
Yeah.
You don't get organized and then it just is organized forever. There's always 2 steps forward, 1 step back. And so similar to your process with counseling or any other lifestyle change, organizing is like that. And so it doesn't happen overnight. It's a process. And the part of the process is not just about the stuff. It's like you said, there's an emotional journey that's taking place over time with people in their release of guilt, in their release of the clutter and the different things. It's that journey, a healing process.
Yeah. And the healing process, the journey, the recovery, sometimes you need help. Often you need help.
Yeah.
And so what does that look like? You may not be able to afford to have a professional come in and just do it for you or help you through it. But what can you do right now? Do you have a friend who you trust who's been over to your house and knows? I remember one of my friends in the past, she was in a position where she just, like, her whole pantry was just almost vomiting on you when you walked in. And she was like, I just don't even know where to start. And I'm like, I love organizing other people's stuff. And I went over, and I mean, it was so rewarding and fun to me to do someone else's. But we had music on and we talked for hours and we stopped and had lunch. Like, it was a fun experience. That was probably 20 years ago too. And I remember it. And it was really therapeutic for kind of both of us. So there's a blessing in that if we're willing to open up and invite someone into that mess. And invite Jesus into the mess. Like, who else would you want in the middle of it? Like, our mission at Finding Balance is helping women find Jesus in the middle of their struggles with eating disorders or food and body image challenges. But this is the same type of thing because it all kind of relates, right? And so inviting him, and he meets us in the mess, not just when it's cleaned up, right? He doesn't say, get it together and then come to me. He's like, come as you are.
Yeah. And he says, my yoke is easy and my burden is light. I'm often reminded that my yoke is hard and my burden is heavy. When Susan's trying to do all the things, it's hard and it's heavy.
Yeah.
And I have to just keep giving it to him. And it's terrifying, but you say your yoke is easy and your burden is light. And I want that because this thing I'm trying to do, it's heavy and it's hard and I am tired.
And it's not working.
It is not working.
And I'm in perimenopause and I need all the sleep. I don't need any more burdens.
I cannot do it.
Right.
I can't.
Right. And so I think it feels like, to kind of wrap this episode up, friend, I invite you to pray about what is one area of clutter, like physically, emotionally, what is one area of clutter that you're struggling with in life? And you might be like, well, Chrissy, it's like 25 areas. Okay, me too, same. Like, but what is the one that really gets you kind of in the place I was earlier, just crying, embarrassed, feeling ashamed? Because God gives us grace, not shame. He's not pouring shame and condemnation on us. Every episode I'm saying this, but it's going to be the reminder we need. That's not from him. That's the enemy. He's wanting to keep us stuck in isolation, not having people over in our homes, like not getting into community and connection with people. Like, what would it look like if, and maybe you're not a hostess. Maybe that's not your thing, and that's okay. But what if, like, it was okay to have people in your home? Like, what if you felt comfortable doing that? What conversations could have, what laughter. Like, I want a Kirkman game night. You don't understand. Our family, we love games, especially music games. Like, we are so good at these, but like, I want a Kirkman game night, like once a month. I think it'd be so fun. And why does my house need to change in order to have this? It's the same space. And most of the people that would be coming over are hunting friends or my son and his friends that are in their late 20s and like they could care less at all. So like, how could that look? What closing words would you give us, Susan?
Well, people, they aren't going to remember what your house looked like. They're going to remember how you made them feel.
Yes.
And so if I think about being a hostess or whatever, it isn't about having the most beautiful house. It's not even about having like the most wonderful, perfect food. It's going to be, how did you make them feel? And one of the biggest things about how you make people feel is just pursuing people, asking them questions about them and taking an interest in listening. And I think that is one of the best things you can do as a hostess, is just make people feel good and just make people feel loved.
Having quality time, laughter.
Yes.
Like, we do game nights at my son and his roommate. They have an apartment and we will go over there and do a game night over there. We kind of just like make it happen. We're like, hey, we're coming over. Let us know when you can host us.
Yeah.
And we'll be like, we're bringing the Taco Bell party pack. And I just need Austin to make his famous cheese dip. Like, it's so good. And he'll get a little 7-layer dip. And it's just a party pack. And then, so he's a big KU fan. And he went to KU. And so Lawrence, if anyone knows KU.
We used to live in Lawrence.
Oh, okay. So you'll get this.
Yeah.
So he has this cat that he adopted and his name is Larry. Lawrence is his real name, but they call him Larry. And so Larry gets to use the party pack box as his home for like 3 months until he destroys it. And then we have to do another game night. So see, there's this whole trick to it.
That's so fun.
But I love that. And it's not like they're trying to like make sure it's clean and they're just like, yeah, come over. So why can't I do that? I can do that. And let's have a good time, right?
You can do that. Not why can't I?
Right? We're not doing it.
And you'll say, I can do that. Yes. I can do that.
In fact, I'm fixing to do it. We're going to do it.
Good.
It's going to happen.
Good.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yay. Susan, I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for just sitting with me in that hard stuff that I had to talk about with you. Like, I needed to.
Thank you for your vulnerability. That was really courageous. It was.
You're welcome. Yeah. Well, friends, I'm so glad you listened to this episode. If you would like to connect with Susan, we have her website, Instagram, and Facebook in the show notes that you can link to. And check out our Lasting Freedom course. If you want to start that holiday module, you can do just one module at a time or get the participant bundle, which will save you a little money for the whole course. Until next time. Thank you for listening to the Old School Food Freedom Podcast. For over 20 years, Finding Balance has been helping people walk in freedom by discovering where Jesus fits into their struggles with food and body image. If you want more biblical truth and encouragement, head on over to FINDINGbalance.com and subscribe to our free daily vitamin devotional. While you're there, explore our Christ-centered Lasting Freedom online course and small group tools. You can help keep this ministry going by donating today at FINDINGbalance.com. See you next time. The content in this podcast is for informational purposes only and is not intended to diagnose, treat, or prescribe a particular course of action. If you have or suspect you may have an eating disorder, please consult your healthcare provider. If you desire to receive faith-based care, visit ChristianTreatmentFinder.com to browse professionals with a Kingdom campaign against eating disorders.